in this video I'm going to show you how to replace your strut inside your spring assembly on your Ford Taurus. Using a 19mm socket, I'm going to take our lug nuts off. Before beginning this job, you're going to want to put a lug nut on your stud because there'll be a lot of banging and a lot of moving around and you don't want to risk this drum falling on the ground and breaking. You're going to lift your rear seat out of the clips. And then pull it forward, or back should I say, so that you can get to this rear shelf behind the seat. All right, next we are going to use a trim tool and remove the plastic grommet for our parcel shelf. Remove this one as well. And you should be able to pick that up. Next, we're going to remove this padding and just push it up and away from where we're going to be working. We have 1, 2, 3 nuts that we're going to loosen using our 13mm socket. The reason being is because you don't want the strut to fall out of the vehicle when you are disconnecting it from underneath. You want to be ready for it. All right, using a 10mm socket, we're going to disconnect our brake hose. Careful not to pinch the hose or the line, kink the line. But you have to take it out of that bracket. In order to get the strut out. All right, using an 18mm socket, we're going to take out this pinch bolt. Once you get that bolt out, you're going to spread this pinch area. Separate it out a little bit so that you can get your strut out. Okay, I'm going to pry down on this pry bar, pushing the strut up as I have a friend of mine here air hammering down. Okay. Be careful not to get your brake line involved in this. Although easier said than done, it is kind of like right in the way, but you should be able to get it around. I'm just going to give it a little tweak. Don't overextend that hose. That should be free enough. So now I'm going to go above and I'm going to take the nuts completely off the strut, and then we're going to pull the strut out. All right, using our 13mm socket, we're going to finish taking out these nuts. And the last one. Okay. And there we go. Okay, after you get your spring strut assembly in your compressor machine, you're going to compress the spring so that you can change out the strut. Once it's loose, you can undo the top nut. You're going to use a 21mm socket. Take the nut off. And remove the wire that holds the strut, and then we're going to charge it by pushing down on it a few times and letting it go up. It's helpful to have a rag so you don't hurt your hand. Do this about 3 or 4 times. All right, so we're going to transfer our boot over. And put our washer on. Make sure it's shaped downward like that. Make sure that you transfer over your rubber dampeners. Make sure you line up the holes with the little rubber grommets. You might have to yank on the other side of the rubber things to get it through the hole. There we go. Make sure it's pretty snug. And now we're ready to insert this up through the spring. So we're going to push it through, making sure that our bracket is in the back, same way we took it off. You can get your nut started. I'm going to use our tool here, a 21mm socket that allows us to hold on to the center while tightening the nut. I'm using a 10mm socket on the inside and a 21mm socket tool on the outside. All right, so now we can loosen our spring down on the strut. Make sure your bracket's facing that way. Your 2 nuts are here, and then you got one in the front. Your brake hose goes here. Okay, once you got that and it's still stable, you can torque your center nut. Again, I'm using a 10mm in the middle there and a 21 on the outside. This is going to be torqued to 41 foot-pounds. So now we can finish taking this out of our machine. Now you can install it in the vehicle. There we go. Once you know that you got your studs up through, you can catch a nut on the top. If you can catch all 3, even better. Perfect. All 3 nuts are caught, so now I'm going to take my pry bar away for now. And I'm going to push in my knuckle, try to get the strut to go in. All right, so I have a pry bar between my knuckle and my backing plate. And I'm just going to help the strut go up. Beautiful. We had to replace our bolt. So now what I'm going to do is tighten up the nuts up top. All right, once you get your brake bracket lined up, you're going to push the bolt through. All right, so now we're going to tighten our pinch bolt. I'm going to torque this to 59 foot-pounds. All right, so now that you're done tightening up your strut, and we're going to go up top, you might as well take your lug nut off your drum. You don't need that anymore. And now we're going to lower the vehicle to tighten up the nuts on the top. All right, so now we're going to tighten our nuts on the top, and then we're going to torque them to 22 foot-pounds. I'm going to go around one more time. Let's put this padding back down. I'm going to lay this back down. I'm going to line up our grommets. Push them in. One there, and there's one on the other side. You have to get in to do that. You might have to push in the trim a little bit into the seams there in order to line them up. Now that you've done that, you can put your seat back. All right, so let's put this seat back in. You're going to want to put it in place, pick it up, push in, and lock it down. And if it doesn't work the first time, keep trying. It's kind of a interesting setup here. There we go. Okay, you're going to put your wheel on. Start your lug nuts by hand. You're going to be tightening them like in a star-like pattern. Starting on the bottom one. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to torque our wheels to 95 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like pattern. And then we're going to go all the way around one more time, just to check them. Now you're going to want to take your vehicle down to your local alignment shop to get it aligned.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.